outline rocking at the first, just so we can have like just a brief little outline of how you want to take this down the path, right? So, where would you want to start with the 1031?
Well, what it is and how it benefits you. And so what it is the ability to buy a larger property without paying taxes on an equity you've already appreciated.
Okay.
So a property that's already appreciated, if you just sell it, you're going to pay taxes on whatever it's accrued, whatever. So let's say it's,
Whatever profit you made on it, you'd have to pay
taxes.
capital gain taxes
Yeah.
or sales tax. Are they different things?
Capital gain.
Is it a different rate than sales?
Well, I guess it depends on what your tax rate is. You know,
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
I don't know exactly what that would be, but the point of the 1031 exchange is if you want to gear up, buy more, you can sell your duplex and turn it into a 10plex without paying taxes on profit you've already made on the duplex.
Cool.
So you delay taxes. Now, if you're old enough,
It's a delay.
it is a delay. But however, if you die, then taxes are never paid. It's passed on to your heirs.
Gotcha.
So, and be sure to check with your accountant based on your own personal situation.
So you need an accountant for a 1031? It's not a realtor deal or a buyer seller deal?
There are companies that you can use that will assist you in doing a 1031 exchange, because what happens is you want to sell the property, but you don't want to receive the money, so that it sits in an escrow, if you will.
Okay.
A 1031 exchange escrow, so you never touch it, and then it goes to buy the next property.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right. So then let's get into on a 1031 exchange, when they say how similar does that next property need to be?
Well,
Is this residential to residential, commercial to commercial, skyscraper to skyscraper, apartment complex to apartment complex?
It has to be. It has to be an investment company, an investment property. So it could be land.
So any investment property.
So you could take land and turn it into a fourplex, and add money to it. So the land might be $400,000, and instead of selling it, you could add money. As long as you're adding $1 or more, you can add money to it, and now you have an income property.
Gotcha.
As opposed to the land.
So then you went and bought the land for $400,000. You built up an income property on it. You can go flip it for $1 million, and then you don't have. Then you can take that equity and not pay taxes on it and roll that into another deal.
Right, but you don't actually build. You don't have to build anything on it. So let's say you buy the land for $200,000, and 10 years later it's worth $400,000. So you could go and buy a fourplex for $600,000, add $200,000 to it to make the purchase, and never pay the $200,000 profit that you made. So you delay profit.
Yeah. That's cool. Are there limits? What kind of limits do come into place on a 1031 that we have to watch out for?
I'm not familiar with a lot of limits, only that it's more than what you're selling, that you're buying more than what you're selling.
Okay. So just as a general rule, it just says, hey, if we're buying more than what we're selling, we can just 1031 roll it over.
Right.
Okay.
And that so if it's a house, it can't be your personal house. It's got to be an investment.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
So you can't do it residential style just off living houses. So what would that be called? Is that a capital gain, or is that a sales, or is that a...
With selling your house?
Yeah. So
right now, and again, you should check with your accountant, when you let's say you're married and you've had a house 2 years and it's appreciated $200,000. You could sell that house and not do an exchange, just sell it. And a husband and wife have a tax break of $250,000 each. So they don't have to pay taxes.
Oh, wow.
So you could go every 2 years and buy a house and fix it and sell it. And you're not really paying taxes if it's your residence.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's different.
Okay.
So
okay.
1031 exchange always has to be an investment property, not residential, not personal residential.
Personal residential. Yeah. Cool.
So it could be a house, but it's a house that you rent out.
Okay. And then when we were talking about like, when would you want one versus not want one? Is there times where you don't want to do a 1031 exchange on an investment property? It sounds like that's like the end all be all holy grail of stuff to do with taxes at that point. Like,
Yes. However, it's best if you don't need the money. If you need the money, then you can't really gear up and buy a larger property. So if you need to cash it out for whatever reason, you're going to add on to your own house and you want to cash out as opposed to do a 1031 exchange because you're going to have to spend more money to do a 1031 exchange.
oh, gotcha. So you're just cashing out and you're not delaying that and deferring the tax till later
You're not
time.
deferring because you need the money.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. And then why is depreciation important for a 1031?
Why is depreciation important? Well, it doesn't really come in play for the calculating. Depreciation is a tax write-off as you go, like yearly, and I'm not really sure how it plays into the 1031 exchange.
Okay.
You know, if you have to put that money back in to calculate, or it's a write-off yearly.
Would we be, I don't know how it applies to that either, but just the way I'm thinking on like number wise, could it be like, okay, if my house is worth this much, but then depreciates that much, now I have a bigger gap? And you depreciate into the future because it is an asset and not a place you live in as your home? Like,
right.
There's probably some gangster stuff you can do there.
Well, you've depreciated the assets, so now what we're doing and really what we focus on is that the 1031 exchange has to do with the sale price, what you sell it for.
Gotcha.
So you sell it for $500 and you're going to buy something for $700, and you have a profit in here. You know, and the depreciation probably comes in play, but it has to do with the sale price.
Okay, cool.
As far as what you're going to buy, so it's strictly on the sale price.
Okay. And then we do, this is going to be a fun one. Tell us about how to successfully pull one of these 1031 exchanges. How do you successfully pull one off?
Well, you find what it is you want before you sell.
Oh.
Ideally.
Gotcha.
Or
so you have a target picked out.
Yes.
And you're going, I have 1031 in my clip and I'm going to shoot it at this target.
Right. Because if you sell the property and it goes into escrow, you don't want to take the money. So if it's going to close, so you put a stipulation in there that you don't close until you have that property in place. So you sell it with that contingency.
Wow. And then that sets you up.
Right, because you do not want to, if you close, you only have 45 days to find your property. And in this market, that's difficult because things go quickly.
Yeah, it's on fire right now.
Right.
Yeah, I've been watching Zillow and they pop up and they go away and they pop up and go away. And I'm like, what's going on here? It's like,
they're gone.
Yeah. So it's churning.
Quickly. Yeah.
So, and then, okay, so if we're talking about a 1031 exchange, what other kind of exchanges are there? Or do we just not even need to worry about anything besides the 1031 right now? It's like,
I only like the 1031 exchange.
Okay.
I don't know that there are really anything that benefits you like a 1031 exchange.
okay, gotcha, right, okay. So then, so how exactly would you do one? And do you need an accountant for it?
Well, ideally, you would like to check with your accountant before you do anything.
Okay,
And the 1031 exchange escrow company will service you for that exchange,
cool.
where they'll take the profit, they'll take the monies of the sale and put it toward the new sale.
Okay.
And then you're going to have to add a little bit or more,
Yeah.
depending on the price.
Roll it over.
Right.
That's cool. Awesome. And then what other importance does a 1031 exchange have to offer?
Well, what's nice is like there was you could be selling property in California and buying a property in Colorado.
So it's national?
It's nationwide. And the benefit is because the bigger you go, the more cap rate you may want, where you're making a higher percentage on your property, bringing in more income. California is more expensive in the purchase of properties.
Okay.
However, it brings in a lot of rent, where Colorado is much cheaper per door, if you will. So a 1031 gives you that kind of opportunity where you could go nationwide and make more money for your investment.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you could be like, this is a hot market right now, and you got some high-priced houses.
Right. So
Yeah, and just like you just go, you just go over to another hot market, but you can buy like 10 more doors. Like,
right. Well, and every state is not as hot as California is right now. So you could sell high, and then for, say, Colorado or Michigan or Ohio, you could buy for a much cheaper price per door, if you will.
Cool. That's a good little pro tip.
Pro tip.
That's a pro tip right there.
And
you know,
and what's like,
you got equity out here, like you can crush it somewhere else.
yes, absolutely.
That's cool.
And there's an organization that I belong to. It's the National Council of Exchangers, and we're nationwide.
Okay.
So we can search for the properties you're looking for.
So how much is somebody saving from doing a 1031 and being able to roll over? As far as if we were to look at this as on like a portfolio, like if we're talking big picture, like if let's bounce up out of the onesies and twosies kind of with the housing or with the fix and flip kind of roles, like what would happen if someone had like a portfolio, 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 different homes or properties or 100 different assets, and are they doing 1031 exchanges and pretty much on everything that they're rolling into it as the snowball effect of a fund starts to be created? Is that what their lifeblood is?
Well,
or besides that, obviously the profit, how much are they not getting crushed by the taxes? That's really my question here.
An example, I bought a house for under $200,000 and now it's worth $900,000.
Wow.
So if I sold that tomorrow, I'd be paying taxes
on $900,
on $700,
on $700,
because my base is $200.
Okay.
Right.
Cool.
So, but if I roll it into other, but it can't be my home anymore. So now, if I rent it out, for at least 2 years because I've moved somewhere else or I've scaled down, it's become a rental, then you can do that 1031 exchange. And it's like, well, I don't need the residence for $900. For $900 in Colorado, I could get 12 units.
Yeah.
And make a good income. So every scenario is different.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Right. But with the 1031, it always benefits the investor.
If they don't want to pay taxes, yeah.
Oh, if they don't want to pay taxes,
If
which
they
you
don't wanna pay
hey, if you guys
taxes-
don't want to pay,
Well,
do this.
actually, I shouldn't say that. I should say if they want to delay taxes.
Oh, gotcha.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they can just keep that rolling. Cool. What else can we talk about with the 1031?
Well,
Are there any like big selling points that you guys have?
well,
or some success stories?
Mostly that. I had a woman that didn't realize she owned this land, and it was in, where was it? It was on the East Coast. And we did a 1031 exchange, and she bought it was in Oceana. It was a senior apartment, like a condominium. And we did the 1031 exchange. So she didn't have to spend any money on the profit. She just rolled it into that property and created income because the land had no income.
Oh, gotcha.
So now she has something that was paying her $1,500 a month.
Cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a big plus. You know, you take a land, like maybe you were land banking and you don't want to do the land anymore. It costs you money. You could roll it into an income property.
Wow. So that's a good way to segue into the getting
Income.
Yeah.
Right.
From the 1031. So tell us, let's build on the strategy that you just brought up.
What?
The strategy of taking a non-income producing asset and turning it into a income producing asset by using the 1031 as a tool.
Yes.
That's a good topic. I haven't heard that before. I really like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Because
like
a lot of people are sitting on land right now.
Yeah.
A lot of people are sitting.
And a lot of people want to build houses, you know, so
Oh.
you could have a good market for sale, get your money, buy the income property, and now you have income.
Okay.
I did a 1031 exchange. I had 15 acres in Valley Center, and it was worth, at the time, just before the 2008 crash, it was worth probably $400,000 a lot. There were 3 lots, but I paid $528,000 for it. But I did a 1031 exchange with a gentleman who thought he wanted a farm. They were avocado acres. And I took his rental property in Vista. So now the house was only worth $350,000. The land was worth $550,000, but it had already gone down and there was no income. So we just traded straight across.
Okay.
But I had $1,500 a month in rent.
You had cash flow.
And I had
Yeah.
no bills, no water bills, no.
Oh, cool. And then he had an avocado farm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonder how his
we just
avocado
changed
farm's doing.
hats.
Like crushing it with avocados right now.
What?
How's his avocado farm doing?
Oh, well, he didn't do his homework.
Oh,
They
no.
died.
Avocados need water.
They do need a lot of water. It's a jungle tree.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, that's a great example. I took less value, but I created income.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's a good little strategy. I like that.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. So how do you
enjoy the journey.
So how do you help people to get started with this?
Well, we start looking for properties that you're interested in.
Oh, so you go find the target for someone.
Right.
So I would come to you and say, hey, I have to sell this property and I need to avoid paying all these taxes. And you say, oh, great. I'm going to help you find something to roll that into.
So what would you like to buy? So normally people, they just sell something. But if you have a target of what you want to buy, now you can delay taxes. And we can find what you want. If we go to another state, you have the opportunity to pay a lot less per door, say on
On the investment.
rentals.
On rentals.
Yeah.
Is this mostly used with rentals? Or do you use them for a lot of different things?
Yeah, it could be a shopping mall.
Oh, gotcha. Right. I guess you could talk about commercial, huh?
Yeah.
You're doing some big stuff.
Yeah,
Wow.
well, and investors gear up. You know, they start with a duplex, and maybe they'll go to Arizona and get a 15-plex.
Gotcha.
So
And then they go get partners.
you can get partners.
How many 1031 exchanges can you do at once?
I don't know. I'm sure you could do many, but
all of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Move them up.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's very exciting to be able to do that, you know, and you can not be penalized. So it's a good way to move up, gear up, and delay taxes.
Cool.
And pick what it is you want to buy anywhere in the country.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, gee, maybe you would like a cabin in Big Bear, because you could go there like 10% of the time. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then Airbnb it or rent it, or
Well, depending on the type of business you want to create.
okay.
Yeah.
How else would you use it for an investment property?
Well, it could be a year-long rental. It could be a vacation rental.
Gotcha. Okay.
It could be a property that's large enough you could add another unit. You know, like a
Build onto
additional
it. Yeah.
dwelling unit. Yeah.
Okay.
So there are a lot of variables, which is very exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. 1031 exchange is coming at you hot.
Yeah.
Live.
Sounds good.
That's cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just trying to see if there's anything else that's really important for people to know about 1031 exchanges.
Well, I think that's enough to get them started.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything we need to watch out for?
Well, what you're buying, where you're buying. You know, you have to do your homework as far as the history of the new property.
Mm-hmm. So that's more important, because the 1031 exchange is essentially a tool. You just have to make sure you're implementing what you're buying, the actual assets, the deal.
That the comps are there, that you know the value's there, the history's there. There's proof of what's been repaired or not repaired, or what needs repair. Doing your inspections. So there's a lot of homework.
Gotcha.
It's a tool.
Yeah.
It's very helpful.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. That's good.
Thanks.
Let's get this rocking.
All right.